Hello again, Dreamlab. How exciting. And hello, Julia. She's never been away. Neither of us has been away. I think Christina's gone to bed now. That's cool. You know, people have to sleep. I've asked David to join us as well. He's usually up for like ever. These people don't sleep. I don't know how they do it, but hey, yeah. So I've decided I'm going to rejig my setup a little bit, which was already a challenge to begin with, because we've seen two webcams working on one system. That was all perfect, and they were working in 1080p too. So I thought, well, I'll just move this one over here, and just in preparation, I've downloaded the Bootcamp drivers onto this memory stick here, and that was already hurdle number one. So I put the memory stick into a free USB port on my HP Z800, and Windows made that noise like ka-ding in regards to I've discovered something, but the drive never showed up. Even Disk Manager drive just didn't show up. So I think there was something overloading on the USB bus somehow. That's how I think about it. And it took me quite a while to actually get the USB thing to read, and I could only do that by unplugging one of the webcams. So bizarrely, I can only have two webcams, or one webcam or a stick, but I can't have two webcams and a stick. That doesn't somehow doesn't like the system. I don't know, is that what happens? Somebody told me once there's a certain power draw issue, and I don't have a separate USB port card in the machine. I've got some that I could put in, but because there were so many graphics cards in there, I just couldn't, there was no empty slots anymore. So I might do that because they are then powered, so maybe that'll solve the problem. But so then once I thought I'll just copy that over to that stick. So I've got the drivers on here now, the hardware drivers for the Mac hardware, and then I put the second webcam back in, and it just didn't work either. So I was thinking, that's all very curious and curiouser. Right, so that may have had something to do with it, because the webcams do draw probably more power than they should, or I suppose it's kind of it gets to the limit there. This gets hot, so it also draws power, and I've also got the Stream Deck, which probably also draws a lot of power. So yeah, I think a powered USB kind of either a hub or just a splitter or something would be nice. But I did manage to do it, and so I now have my other webcam set up to see this. So that's obviously not the keyboard we're going to look at, but this is the star of the show that we're going to have play with and see if that actually starts. I've also got my trusty Windows installation disk. $12 is not much, is it? That's, yeah, I think I've got PCI cards that I can slot in there, and they are powered as well, so they take like a PCIe power supply, and they're bus powered, and that's usually in my Z600s that works really well, but I haven't got one for the Z800 yet. So yeah, $12 is a good investment, isn't it? So let's see if we can find the. There's also old Miss Marple movies here. That's, you know, always good to have. But mainly I use it to store software disks of all kinds of things that I've made. So this one is a Windows disk, but that's built 1607, so that's old. I think I have a newer one here. The current one I think is 1809. That's the kind of Windows. Look at that, the CentOS 6 as well. That's cool. There's also CentOS 6.6, 6.4, 6.7. My goodness, I've got so many. CentOS 7. That's cool. 7.0. Fedora 21. Yeah, I wouldn't say I've grown up with CentOS, but that's kind of my go-to distribution. Windows Vista Business. Look at that, awesome stuff. I think that came with my first Z600 there. So another version of CentOS. My goodness, I never want to throw these things away. There's an insider preview of Windows 10. That's interesting. That's also, my goodness, that's a few years old. Zotac GeForce drivers, very cool. Do you know, and I never got around to really exploring the package manager on Debian either. So Debian and Ubuntu, they are sort of mysteries to me. I've looked into them, and I do like what they do. It's very cool. I like the idea of how you can super easy set up a web server on those services. That's really exciting. Yeah, this is the one we're going to use. Windows 10 64-bit built 1809. That's exactly the one we're going to use. So I haven't even switched this on yet after I've installed the hard drive. I really have no idea how the Mac boots. Like, I mean, we don't have, there's no BIOS we can go into, so that's kind of weird. So I don't know what's going to happen if we switch it on and it just discovered, it goes and says, hey, I haven't found anything on the internal drive yet, which is a CentOS drive, so it isn't actually a Windows drive. I'm hoping that it will just boot from the CD, and it will just, you know, let us do this thing. Let's see what happens, shall we? First time we're switching this thing on, and I'm not going to put the CD in just yet, but I'll just switch it on. It's also not connected to a power supply. That's probably also not awesome. See if we can actually see something here on the screen. This usually comes up with super bright. The moment you switch on the hardware, it just comes up with something mega bright. So I'll see what happens. Usually the whole boot shenanigans are all on the internal hard drive, and there's one partition that's kind of an emergency or rescue partition, so basically exactly like Linux works. And if something goes wrong, you can boot into that and then see what happens. But this guy, I don't think this guy does anything. Oh, there we go. Oh my god, really? That would be quite exciting if we could just boot into Linux this way. No controller, that's interesting. Look at that. Oh, okay, so the old operating system is still bootable on there. TX Boxer, how you doing? Lovely of you to join us here. It's a spontaneous late night hacking and coding session. I've earlier attempted to take my SSD from my MacBook out that ran High Sierra, I believe, and I've put another one in, and I'm thinking I'm going to install Windows on that because I like to see how Windows runs on my MacBook, and I've never tried that before, so I like that effect, so that I'm kind of reflecting in the in the MacBook, so you can still see my face. That's kind of cool. Yes, but I'm not entirely sure if... So this is still the old hard drive there. And look at that, it keeps booting. That's cool. It's just slow. I had so hoped that this was an SSD. I was totally wrong about that. Crazy stuff. There it is. CentOS. No way. I'm super impressed already. But I suppose that's the cool thing about Linux. Everything is, there's no drivers. Everything's in the kernel. If the kernel supports it, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No way. Seriously. It's connected to the internet and everything? That is too cool, man. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, the keys for the brightness control work? Volume keys work? This is Mac hardware, man. This isn't... Windows doesn't support this out of the box. Keyboard brightness, no way, this works as well. Oh my god, the keyboard brightness, I can crank that up. Oh my lord. That is serious. I'm completely surprised. This works? This is the power of Linux, really. That is unbelievable. Has no problem with the fact that the hardware completely changed. Is totally happy. It's connected to the internet as well. That's unbelievable. It'd be a shame to flatten this and put Windows on it now, wouldn't it? Wow. So, you know, that's what I was thinking. I wouldn't have, I mean, especially because these keys, they're non-standard. So I've got this, where is it then? Yeah, I've got this Mac keyboard here, and that is attached to my Windows machine. And it's a standard Bluetooth keyboard, and it works as far as the keys go. But the whole top row here, those are kind of, I guess it's kind of from Steve Jobs' days. These are technically F keys, and Windows interprets them just as that. It doesn't do anything else. On the Mac, you can have a choice if you want to use them as F keys, or with the function key you can then use them as these other functions that are painted on here. So like there's special Mac functions here, you've got media playback buttons, and you've got the volume buttons, and on the MacBook some of these buttons are slightly different. So some of them are for making the keyboard brighter and all that, and this is totally works out of the box. And on Windows this keyboard doesn't. So the volume keys don't work, the display brightness keys, you know, it also doesn't work. Thank you, TX Boxer, very nice to hear. That's always very nice to hear. I thought I'm going to start something new. It's called Live from Jay's Desk, and it's all the crazy stuff I do. Sometimes it's a bit of coding, sometimes it's a bit of hardware fiddling. So, you know, awesome. Yeah, drop by anytime. Always welcome. So today the challenge was to install Windows on the MacBook. And yeah, I'm so surprised that CentOS is already working on here, no problem. So Dreamlab, you've played a bit with Linux. How does Linux determine where to boot from? Let's do that. I mean, as soon as I've got the bot running, I've practiced that earlier. So I've got the bot running. It's a locally run chatbot that can work with Mixer, Twitch, or YouTube. And all you need is 2 accounts, and one is the bot account and one is your actual streamer account. And the thing can integrate Python scripts. So I think it's internally written in Python, and exactly, maybe that'll come in handy there. And it'll execute scripts that you've written as well. So, you know, maybe it'll come in handy. So yes, I'm gonna go. Tell you what, I'm gonna go and try and turn off the computer. Let me try that. Turn off. See that you can see that here. This is the turn off option. Slightly burned out here, but this is the turn off option. I'm going to turn off the computer. It even suspend to disk, suspend to RAM. My goodness. I was going to say just turn off and suspend to RAM, maybe. RAM. Let's do that. It even supports the tap to click, so I don't have to click the keyboard. That's like this, that sound. You don't have to do that on the Mac. It's like a tick box that you check, and then you go and it just you tap your key, and then, you know, that'll be enough. Oh, hello Steve, welcome back. That is exciting. How exciting is this? Oh, actually I can't see the chat above the camera. That's because that's layered wrong. There we go. Now the chat should be on this as well. Great. Lovely to have you all here. That's very cool. And, you know, welcome and congratulations to having figured out Mixer. It isn't easy. I totally agree that the weird username that you get automatically at the beginning, that's bizarre. I'm going to put that disk in now. It'll only eat it fully if I switch the MacBook on again. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. You're not even switched off, are you? What's going down here? My password, I don't remember my password. It didn't ask my password before. I'm just going to hold the power button down until this thing shuts off. There we go. That's exactly what we want. So what do you think? If I switch it on and put the disk in, there we go, disk is in. Do you think it's going to boot from the disk? Let's vote. What do you think? Is it going to boot from the disk, or is it going to boot from the hard disk, and it's going to tell us, hey, what's going down? Fantastic. Do you know, I'm going to post a link in the chat. I've recently compiled a list of funky usernames on Mixer. List of randomly generated Mixer usernames. It was so funny. Maybe we can add that to it there. Ah, you see, it's trying to boot from the hard disk. I wonder how I can get it so that it boots from the DVD. It's almost like I have to get rid of the partitions on the hard disk and then confronted with the fact that there's just nothing to boot from, and that's that. That's one idea. Because there's no BIOS on the Mac that I can go into and say, hey, the boot order is now going to be, you know, start with something else. The C key? Let's do that right away. Thank you so much. This is awesome. The C key, they're big on the Alt and Command key. So when you want to boot into the rescue system that's on the Mac hard disk, you hold down the Alt key. So okay, I'm going to go and press the C key and switch that puppy back on. Restart and hold down the C key. Did I say how long? Maybe I'll just go hold it down for like ever until something happens. Yes, I like that username as well, Julia. That was quite cool. I can hear the CD drive spinning. And it goes and spins. You are the best. You get 100 points. Let's try that giveaway again. Maybe you win this time. Press any key to boot from CD or DVD. And that's just Windows now, isn't it? Yes! Oh my God, look at that. That Windows sign. Woo-hoo! Party! That is so cool. All right. Durate to record. Success already. Isn't that amazing? So yes, then what I did there earlier, while this is kind of doing its thing, I can totally tell you on my desktop, well, not so much this one, but on here, I've just searched for, what was it again, Bootcamp drivers, and up came the Apple support website here. And if we go on here, then we get several iterations of Bootcamp. So 5.1.5769 isn't actually the latest one, but it's the latest one that they put up on their website on Apple support, which is bizarre. So I went onto here, and that gives you a zip file, because I think the most recent one is Bootcamp 6. I don't even know if my hardware supports that or not, but so I downloaded this, and that gave me a zip file somewhere, and that I unzipped, and I put that onto this very memory stick. And what I've read is that once Windows installs here, we're supposed to, so it won't recognize much of the hardware. It'll probably run somehow, but things like the keyboard and the trackpad and the audio stuff probably not going to be supported properly. So I think what we're going to have to do is then just run this program, which will then install all the Macintosh drivers on this thing, and then, you know, hopefully we're going to be all right. But let's see what happens with this thing first, because I don't see any progress bars or anything here. But the disk drive is still spinning, so yeah, something is happening. I think I'll wipe out CentOS. Yeah, I think it was one of those things. CentOS on this hard drive, I tell you, I put that on there because I wanted there was some transcoding I think I did. I think Game of Thrones or something that just needed to be transcoded to something I could watch on, I don't know, some other format. I can't even remember. And I was going to do that with Handbrake on Windows, on the old Samsung laptop, which is not powerful at all. It has an i3 processor. It's like 2009, 2010 vintage. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, but you know, it was made kind of for Windows 7. And when it was BOS, Steve, I think so. I think my friend in Texas, he was working for IBM. He had BOS on his computer. And that was a very clever philosophy. When he told me that, he said it has, I think it was either threads or CPUs. I think it was threads. It was leaving one thread, a bit like on the PlayStation, it was leaving one thread free all the time so that you could move the cursor, and only all the other threads were able to do calculations. It was very clever idea. So yeah, so I put Windows 10 on that Samsung laptop, and sadly what happened was that there was an update of Windows 10 that caused this thing to never boot into Windows. It always thought it was installing Windows, and it would never follow through, and it had something to do with something so boring I've forgotten now. So in the end I decided Windows 10 isn't going to be for that laptop. Going back to Windows 7 I'm not sure about, and then of course there's CentOS, and I thought, well, let's put CentOS on there. Is that how long it was ago? 99, wow. I don't know if anything is actually booting here properly. Is the computer even alive still? I don't think it is. What do you think? Shall I go and try this again? Because I don't see any, usually after that long a time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it should at least. Oh, and look at that. So the computer isn't dead. I don't know if you can see that here. I've got. Oh, look, I can totally show you. I've just pressed the shift lock key, and it didn't do anything for a while, and then it came on. So I wonder if something is just very slowly happening there in the background. Oh, okay. Disk has stopped spinning. That's interesting. Oh dear. Yeah, I wonder if it actually needs something that it can copy stuff to. So I don't think Windows 10 can read Linux partitions. I mean, it should just say that in the process now, shouldn't it? And say, hey, this isn't gonna, we need a partition here for X, Y, and Z and all that. Yeah, this looks pretty dead to me. I'm gonna try this again. See what happens. Yes, that is exactly what you would say. Dead, dead, dead. Okay, so we're gonna hold down the C key, followed by the power button. That's Mac. Disk is spinning up. And when Windows installs, there aren't really any other options that we can give it, right? There's no way we can, like, you know, advanced install options or something. Okay, CD is definitely spinning. I'll let go of the C key for now. Press any key. Where's the any key? I'll press the return key for now. See what happens. Come on, Windows, you can do this. Christina, how exciting! Shouldn't you be in bed? That is so cool. I thought we were just going to crack on with this. So thank you so much for joining us. This is so exciting. Who needs sleep anyway, hey? Do you know, we need to pick up Julia's bike in a minute. Do you not want to do that anymore? It's too late. No, come on, let's do that. We'll do that. We're committed to the bike. That is so funny. See, this is when you need to enjoy, this is when you need to join funky chat rooms like this and enjoy a black screen with the blue logo on it and nothing happens for a while. This is always better enjoyed together. So thanks to Dreamlab, I now know how to boot from the CD on a Mac. That is very cool. It just, I wish it would, you know, do this thing. Because the Bootcamp way to install it would be indeed to put a clean version of macOS on here, on this disk, and then start using that, whatever it's called. It's like a installer program that works from Mac, from macOS. It then reshuffles your hard drive, repartitions your hard drive, puts Windows in that, and then it starts again with some kind of Mac bootloader thing. It's super boring, crazy stuff. And from what I've read, Bootcamp is not actually such a preferred way of working, but I'm now beginning to think perhaps it's the only way of working. to get this hardware to recognize this. You'd also think perhaps the friendly people from Microsoft would have put something that acknowledges Windows hardware into their installation procedure for Windows, but I guess, yeah. I think, Steve, that is a good idea. Maybe we'll do that next. I think that only works if you already have a macOS installed on the drive, because the option key during start, that lets macOS decide which partition to boot from. So we currently don't have a Windows partition, but that's a very good idea, because C is the only thing we've tried. So let's try the option key next. Option, that's this one here, the Alt key. I also thought it was the command key, but that is actually just the command key, command or Apple key, sometimes they called it, and the Alt/option key, that's this one here. You can't actually see that, can you? It's just out of vision. So this is the command key here, and this is the Alt/option key. Exactly, it just stopped now. Usually you see that little spinning icon and the bad graphics driver and all that. It just doesn't do any of that. Ah, I see. Is that just after starting it up, Steve? That's interesting. The R key. At startup of the... Okay. Yes, because we were quite surprised by the fact that when we press nothing, what we get is essentially booting into CentOS. So CentOS is totally fine with the fact that the hardware is completely changed. CentOS just goes, yeah, I'll just get on with it, it's cool. And what baffled me even more, and this was seriously cool, what baffled us even more is that it, without ever having seen macOS hardware, CentOS 7, the version that's on here, is already connected to my internet. It acknowledges the volume keys, which are special on the hardware. It also has brightness, keyboard brightness. Everything works out of the box. It almost makes me think perhaps I'm just gonna keep this on there and just use CentOS on this from now. Oh, what have we here? Oh my god, you can't see that. I need to totally change this back. Dun, 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 dun. Ay caramba! That is so cool. So it did take a second boot attempt for whatever reason. Language to install. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. Well, since we only have one option, I guess we're going to stick with that. This is not a US MacBook, by the way. This has that's right, this is not a US MacBook. Maybe I can change that here. Can I? US English table for IBM Arabic 238_L. Yeah, let's use that. That's cool. Wolof, Yoruba. Some of these languages or keyboard layouts don't actually exist, though, do they? United Kingdom, I think. Now here's another trick question. What's the difference between United Kingdom and United Kingdom Extended? Let's not take chances. Let's use United Kingdom. Time and currency format. I am still United Kingdom guy. Language to install English United States. Let's do that. Oh my god, that is what I hope as well. Language to install United Kingdom. Let's do that as well. I'm gonna be totally... I'm an Englishman in New York. Can't do it. Okay, cool. Install now. Chanel. Or repair your computer. No, we're going to go for install. This is exciting. This, thank you. One day we'll have song requests with that bot. The bot supports that. I don't know how legal that is. But yeah, apparently then during a session like this, you guys could go into the chat and then request songs from a list. It's unbelievable what people have already written that's out for free on the internet. Christina, are you still with us or are you asleep now? Activate Windows. This is another conscious question here. Is it? That's what I am, yes. If you're reinstalling Windows, select I don't have a product key. Your copy of Windows will be automatically activated later. I want to see that. I don't have a product key. Okay, cool. Because I was going to use the one from the bottom of the other thing, from the laptop, which I don't even remember if that was a Pro or Home edition. I'm thinking, what do you think, Dreamlab? Are we gonna put the Home edition on here, or shall we go for Pro edition? Tricky question. 2 for Pro, nobody for Home. Let's do that. Yeah, you see, I don't even know. So the license I have for the other, yeah, exactly. If we have a code for it, if we, I think the license. I'm gonna have a look. I think the license was actually Windows Home, and it was Windows 7. So I doubt that it's gonna work. Upgrade, install Windows and keep file settings and applications. Don't know. Custom, install Windows only. Advanced, the files, settings and applications aren't moved to Windows with this option. If you want to make changes to partitions and drives, start the computer using the installation disk. We recommend backing up your files before you continue. And upgrade says the files, settings and applications are moved to Windows with this option. This option is only available when a supported version of Windows is already running on the computer, which is obviously not the case, so I don't know why this option comes up then. Custom, right? Let's do that. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, there we go. And now we've got these options, so we're totally going to go and delete that partition, right? Yeah, let's delete it because we don't need it anymore. Windows can't be installed on drive 0 partition 2. No, let's not do that. That's cool. Let's wipe it all. This partition might contain important files or applications from your computer manufacturer. If you delete this partition, any data on it will be lost. Great. And then of course we've got the other one here, the 500 megabyte system partitions. We're going to get rid of that as well, and hopefully have just one large unallocated space left. So yeah, that one we're going to go delete as well. Boom. This partition also might contain even more important files or applications. Yeah, well, sorry about that. So just a bunch of unallocated space. Can we just go next, or do we have to go new? New is just that just makes a new partition, right? We don't really need to do that. I think Windows will take care of that as soon as we press next. Thoughts? Anyone? What do you think? Yeah, I think we're just going to go for next. Let's do that. Yeah. Aha, there we go. Copying files. Getting files ready. Okay, so it must have taken care of that under the hood then. Do you know, see, this is why it's good to figure this out. And sometimes doing this on your own, you just bang your head against the wall. It's just crazy. Meanwhile, let's try a giveaway. Hypeboard giveaway in 3, 2, 1. Backdoor 3D. Woohoo! Well done, Steve, for winning. Well, Steve won that. He won the knowledge that the Restream bot isn't always the winner of this thing. Oh, wouldn't that have been cool? I mean, you know, this is maybe something we can do while this is installing. And I've done this many times already, Steve. This is my mixer return here. And if I go and do that full screen, then you can literally see how fast anything comes back. So sometimes it's even faster than that. So tonight we've got a bit of latency here. I guess it's about 1 second. You know, but that's it. I move my hand and it just goes and hey, 100 J points. That's right. So you know, this is what happens. But if I go and move over to my YouTube return, which I don't think I've got up here, but let me just bring that up. I'll show you the difference between what the latency is for YouTube there. It's here, I think, and then it's in... What are you all using on YouTube? Those of you who upload videos to YouTube, do you use the Classic Studio? Fake internet points, that's what we call it. Do you use the YouTube Classic or do you use the Studio Beta? The new and super awesome thing that they're trying to push on all of us. So this is now the YouTube return. Of course I will, yes, I'm sorry. So there we go, this is now the YouTube return, and if I move my hand up, I mean it kind of takes, you know, however long, but a long time, and only then is my signal appearing at your end. Using Studio Beta, look at that. Let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, the 9 seconds, 8 to 9 seconds, if I was in fact counting seconds. But that's how long it takes for this thing to appear on YouTube. It is faster on Twitch. Let's do Twitch as well. In fact, I'm also live on 2 other services, which I've never looked at in regards to the return. So let's, why don't we just check that as well while we're here and waiting for Windows to do its thing. 17% done, so yeah, that's good, we've got some time here. So this is now my Twitch return. This is cool, we're totally gonna put Twitch through the ringer. Hey, you won this amazing demonstration of latency streaming services. That's what you won, so you know, don't knock it, it's good. So let's try this now. So Twitch, let me try let me try counting there as well. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. Twitch is faster. Twitch is only about 3 seconds, but they've only fairly recently introduced this thing called ultra low latency. And oh, Drowsier Pilot 79, thank you so much for the sexy comment, I love it. So yes, this was about 3 seconds, and they've introduced that fairly recently. I'm also on something called Picato. I can't remember my username, of course. Let's see if we can find myself on Picato. I might be that, yes. Picato doesn't save files. Oh, that's a good thumbnail there, very good. That's Picato. Apparently I'm live. And does anything happen? Picato. I don't have any options to make the screen bigger here, unfortunately. Picato, how you doing? So Picato is like several years latency. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's for visual artists, so it's live streams for artists, so painters, sculptors, that sort of thing. That's what Picato is all about. Very cool. And then the other thing I've just signed up with is dlive.tv, and that is streaming on the blockchain. Oh, really? Enjoy the haircut. We'll totally let you know what's going to happen here with the whole installation. I'm totally gonna, you know, this is, you can watch the rest of it later if it's not way too boring. 44% done. You don't know what you're missing, Steve. Have a good haircut. See, you want a haircut. All right. So this is now dlive.tv, and that is let's see what the latency is like on there. So anything happening? That looks like it's kind of like not as fast as Twitch. Looking good though. Let me try counting again. I think so too, Dreamlab. Yeah, PewDiePie's just signed up with them. If that's anything to go by, let's test the latency here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's exactly the same latency as YouTube. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yes, I've only literally just signed up about a week ago because with Restream you can stream to so many of these things. I'm thinking, yeah, let's just stream to all of them, see what happens. You can never tell where your audience is going to come from. Have you had much experience with them? Very true. Yeah, I think they're not the match for Mixer. I don't actually know how this works with the FTL protocol. If that's a proprietary thing, or because I'm thinking if it's so cool, why doesn't everyone use it? I mean, can't YouTube just go and say we now support FTL? It makes me think that it's perhaps proprietary and that not everyone's just allowed to use it. You can probably use it to stream to Mixer, but I don't think you can allow it to build an application with it, because otherwise everyone would be doing it. But then at the same time, it's also not rocket science. And why don't people like YouTube and Twitch just come up with a new protocol that makes streaming as fast as it is on Mixer? I don't know why people don't do that anyway, because they can do Skype calls which are instantaneous. Discord can do instantaneous video relay. It's not exactly magic. FaceTime can do it. Why don't they come up with a protocol that they go and just put it into their streaming platforms? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, they developed it, and if they were clever, they're not going to make it open source. They're going to say, well, let's keep it proprietary to the Mixer platform, and otherwise we'd lose the edge, I guess. Oh, really? Oh, yes, yes. We used to do that in live television. Sometimes there's a 1 or 2 minute delay in there, and then you have somebody who goes and listens to it, and then usually the audio guy can mute things on exactly with a panic button on the output. So live callers who tend to swear and all that, they can then just go get muted on the output. Yeah. Do you know, funny thing, when we used to do Big Brother, I was involved in, like, very, very on the fringes of when Big Brother started in the UK. There was a job that was going there that on the night shift, you know, sometimes we just got odd jobs there. And we had this kind of, it was a little bit like an EVS. So it was not a Sony unit, this one. It wasn't an EVS either. It was something like a proprietary, whatever kind of early hard disk type server, and we used it only for the fact that a signal came in, was delayed by about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then the signal would go out to TV, to the live TV. So that was how delayed Big Brother was back then. And when people had private conversations, that was then muted, so we had to quickly put an in point in, wait until the conversation was over, and put an out point in, and then put I think chirping birds over it, which was, you know, crazy, but and then cut to a wide shot as well of the house from the outside or whatever. So that was one of the jobs that that we had. I was only involved with this like in the very early stages. I never really sat through many hours of doing that, but yeah, that was one of the jobs we were supposed to do. Very cool. So we're getting to the 77% mark, and that's just files ready for installation. So we haven't actually installed anything yet. This is just copying stuff over from the disk to the internal hard drive here now. So many things can go wrong. Haha, Windows. Ah. So where were you working for IBM then? Was that here in Florida, or was that back in Texas? I'm only asking because my friend from Germany, actually, he was hired by IBM, and he was, oh right, in Tampa, how exciting. He was first in Austin at that big headquarters there, and then in Houston. Or was it the other way around? I think it was the other way around. First Houston and then in Austin. And he developed some kind of PCMCIA extension for, forgot now. We've fallen out of touch. Yeah, such a small world, isn't it? Very cool. Oh, that was in Tampa. What were you doing for them? If you're not breaking any NDAs, that's totally cool if you don't want to talk about it. Oh, wow, you did? That is so cool. Like the like, was it 1-inch data storage type thing? These like the things that you put on there, or was it 2-inch even? Whoa, that is so cool. That is seriously cool. Oh, okay, like were they cartridges or were they on spools? 8-track tape sounds like they were maybe on cartridges. Ah, yeah, of course, it was late 80s. They would have probably gotten rid of those by then. Right, okay. Nice one. Was it DLT type cartridges or was it a proprietary system? That is so cool, seriously. Oh, wow. I remember we had in back in London, they had it was long ago, wasn't it? The latest tape storage archive I dealt with was DLT. DLT, DTL, DLT, I think. DTL, digital DLT or DTL, one of those things. And that was for making sure that things like football games that there was massive network. So on the weekends there was 10 football matches coming in at the same time, and they go into 10 galleries. So there's 10 producers, 10 vision mixers, 10 audio guys, 10 EVS guys, 10 overvoice guys, taking the live feed from the ground, and they put graphics on, like who scored a goal and everything, put the English commentary on, and then with those graphics they put that out again, or that was my job, to put it back out to people to see all over the world live. And the the matches all went onto a central EVS storage, and they were clipped up in each gallery so that there was like a DLT. That was it. Thank you, Julia. And so that was on the EVSs, which was deemed, I suppose, highly accessible, so highly available storage. So it's very fast to go to all these things, but they only have a limited capacity in each gallery, like about 8 hours, and then things get over recorded. So very exciting stuff then, that for archiving these matches you had to put them onto some kind of library, and they decided on a tape library that would back these things up to hard drives, but then the hard drives also need to be backed up to tape storage, and that's what they use the DLTs for. And so that was like a little round room. Maybe I should build that in 3D. It's kind of a cool idea. It's a round room with an arm in the middle that would go out and grab a cartridge from the outside. So it was like a 360-degree rotating thing, grabs a cartridge, puts it into the player recorder, and that would then back up the hard drive, or if you needed storage from it, it would find the right tape, put it back, and then go and do its thing. Oh, now something's happening here. That's very interesting. Windows needs to restart to continue. Woo! Thank you so much for the subscription. I'm trying to pronounce your name. This was great. Thank you so much. Very cool. You were the manual thing, exactly. Let's see what's happening now. This could be exciting. Yes, I've noticed that if you're watching on Twitch, the chat that we've got going doesn't seem to be relayed. The relay only seems to happen between Mixer and YouTube. So if you want to chat, I think I can read it when you type, but you'd have to read the messages on the screen. Dreamlab LLC, your tape guy for all your digital needs. This is exciting. DLS, now that could be a good new tape format, Dreamlab. What do you think? Now, here's exciting times ahead. I think Windows has to restart about 11 times or something to come up with a configuration that we can just about work with. Let's see what happens. This is the first time that I'm seeing natively run Windows on the Mac. So I've got experience with Parallels Desktop. That's kind of, it's one of those underrated products. People say, well, it makes Windows on your Mac appear. It's not quite the case. I mean, it's a proper hypervisor. It's very, very clever technology. And you can literally go and install any operating system under a hypervisor that supports your hardware. Oh. ATM relay, that sounds really cool. That was a quick haircut there, Steve. Awesome. I guess you've still got your hair in all the right places and all. Well, you've come in at the most exciting time where Windows restarts for the first time after it's installed all the files. That is so cool. I can't get over Rod's 3D hair, yes. I can't get over Rod's 48th anniversary. That is seriously cool. Oh, Christina, you'll be interested in that because you're a woman of the technology. Julia is watching Mixer with the app on her iPhone. So there's a Mixer app that gives you ultra low latency, available from the App Store and the Android Play Store, apparently. But of course, you're more than welcome to join us from YouTube. It's about choice, isn't it, Dreamlab? It's about choice. I decide where my hair is going to grow. It's funny, I cut my hair the other day and my colleagues were saying, oh my god, that's short, looks great. And I said, yeah, I did it myself. And everyone's like, oh my god, really? And I said, yeah, like 5-6 years ago I bought like a $25 wall clippers with color-coded attachments, and you know, it's number 3 on the sides, number 6 on the top, and you know, a bit of adjustments here. Chrome is good. I like it. Chrome hair. Yeah, I think they do that for Android, Christina. Yeah, salt and pepper was another way of saying almost gray. Salt and pepper. In Germany we have another word, meliert. That's very cool. That also means basically gray. Well, it's kind of getting grey, not quite graying, not quite there yet. Yes, Windows, you're getting ready. I should have had a stopwatch here and go. Oh, Christina, were you here when Steve won that giveaway? Oh my God, he totally won. So the Restream bot doesn't always win. That's very exciting. Good to know. Or maybe he was listening to our comments and thought, damn, I can't get away with that for much longer. It is true, yes, I'm a little bit suspicious about that. So you're an early grey person. Not bad. I'm rolling with it as well. My mom dyes her hair. Oh right, yes, that was now I remember. Short-term memory there. My mom dyes her hair, or used to dye her hair, and then she tried it out for a while, not dyeing it and just saying, well, I'll just be grey, and that only lasted for about a year, and then she goes, nah, actually I need color back in my hair, and so now she's back on the tinting it. So very cool. From what I can see, we've got 8 watchers. That is quite cool for somebody who's talking over a black screen that says getting ready for 30 minutes. So you know, you're all very welcome. I really appreciate you all joining me on this mad journey, shall I say, which looks like it could be successful. So I can see a niche programming thing in here, live from Jay's desk. I think that series may return. That's it. Do you know? And if I had my it's like a staring contest. Us all staring at the MacBook, getting ready for Windows. Oh, I see. So today you're dyeing it too. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, you know, let's look away now. Maybe if I cut away, it goes quicker. Let's try that. Hey, what's happening? Oh my God! No, it's still getting ready. Let's go back at the screen. I think I like that. Let's go back looking at the screen. We don't want to miss those vital seconds there. I don't think I've ever tried dyeing my hair. Maybe it'll happen one day. Do I have kind of grey hair? I do, don't I? Yeah. I keep being told that I look like Jeremy Corbyn. I think it's the beard. I think it's the beard when it's not quite trimmed properly. I think that's when people say that. Grayish. That's right. Milliard, as we say. The graying. White beard. And how about your hair, Steve? Is that also white, or do you dye your hair? Do you know, that is one of those things, Streamlab? I think that's where many men who dye their hair fall over, because sometimes I see people who quite clearly use the wrong color. I mean, often they just, I don't think people, men in particular, they just don't look that much at, does this actually fit in with the rest of my color? So you get people with kind of grayish eyebrows, and they have like jet black hair, or like brownish stuff that you think, well, it really doesn't go with your skin, you know, that doesn't integrate sometimes. Women are much better at finding the right color. Right, yes, so when you lose all the color, yes, I can imagine. That's like, yeah, yeah. There was a nurse I remember at the hospital. She was Asian, like Asian as in Far East Asian, not as in Indian Asian, so Far East Asian. And they usually have black hair, and she always had black hair when I remember her. And then there came the point where she decided, I'm not going to dye it anymore, and she was also white, so she became just white. Like a few weeks later, when we saw her, she was white, and but it both looked good. So it's one of those things. I'm always thinking, yeah, it does change your whole appearance, but it just depends on what you feel like, really. That's very clever, Steve. Oh my God, this is so exciting. What happens next? How many more times will Windows have to restart? Votes, please. 2, 3 times. That'll be possible with a new bot, by the way. There'll be a command. Yes. There'll be a command where we can vote, and then we'll literally have the results from how many people voted what option. So it'll be great. Yes, getting there. That's where that SSD would have really come in handy. But I mean, if this proof of concept is kind of working, then I may just buy one of those $100 1 TB disks for this puppy. Because I don't want to give up the Mac OS, you know. No, it's Windows 10. I think so too. I think so too, guys. I think Mixer is a very nice. It's almost like they've looked at what Twitch have and agreed that's way over the top, and then they went, let's add some of those features and just go and tone them down a little bit, because I think Twitch is confusing, and it's just sometimes there's just too many emotes and stuff. Mixer looks really nice. I like that. I really like Mixer. What Mixer haven't sorted out yet is clip storage. So you can't upload anything. You can only do live streams, and your streams are kept for 2 weeks. That's it. And you can download them, and you can upload them to YouTube if you want, but you can't do anything like you know, cutting things out and making clips. I think they're working on that. Right, exactly that kind of feature. That's what this locally run chatbot is going to bring to the table. Maybe that's where that feature comes from. Ah, I like it. Do you know, Steve? Yes, I would love the idea as well. Maybe that is something. Currently, it's kind of limited to 10 people that you can do a stream like that. But I would love the idea to just pump a mixer stream or a stream like this directly into Discord, because then that kind of keeps it behind a private wall. That's also something that Mixer doesn't do. You can't set a stream to private. It's either public or it's a developer type stream. I think you can use an API and then use a test stream. I may have to look into that, but it's not as easy as it is on YouTube, where you say, yeah, I'm going to do a stream, but the stream is unlisted or private, and then only people you send the link to can watch it. Yes, we better. I think we can set ratings on the stream, so there's family friendly, there's teen, and there is 18 plus. Just a moment. You sure, Windows? We'll wait a moment. Christina, you're not sleepy yet? I've asked David to join us. He's on Skype, he's active, but I think he's working. So I told him that we're on here. It's certainly not like a New York minute. It's probably much longer than that. Yes, that is usually you can do it, but YouTube will probably say that it's only suitable for certain audiences. If you're monetized, it makes a difference, because then you can't use monetization on those videos. But an easy way to get around it is to just switch your viewport to the one without textures. So the I forgot what it's called now, but the one above that doesn't have the textures, the flat shaded one, smooth shaded, that's the one exactly. And that will then just be the and that will just be the shape of Genesis, and that's cool. And then as soon as you've got close on, you can just switch it back to texture shaded or to iRay. So that's one way of getting around that. Just a moment. I can see it now. There's no, I haven't connected this to the power. I can just see it now. Windows installation is going to take longer than one battery charge. But yeah, definitely do it. I'm looking forward to all your videos. Steve's new videos, Christina's videos, and your videos will be great. That's also an idea, yeah. Rather than just load the character and you just start with the character loaded and wearing something already. That's a good idea too. That's another idea. Or make him invisible. That's also cool. I've posted something once in the DAS forums and made sure, because they were very much against. They're extremely strict about nudity in their forums. Whoa, I've never seen that before. Hey there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. Switch it off, switch it off. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do. Use your voice or the keyboard along the way, and if you'd like me to stay quiet, yes, actually, just select the middle microphone icon. If you need an assistive screen reader, press the Windows, Control and Enter keys at the same time as your middle mouse button. Scroll around a little bit, and then, okay, enough intro, let's dig in. Just a moment, sure, yeah, we're patient here, we're all very, very patient. Microsoft, are you watching this? Do you know that this is what it's like? Let's start again with your region. Didn't I tell you this? Is this right? Yes. Listening. No, don't listen. Oh my God, she's listening. Yeah, me too, actually. The moment it comes up with the option, would you like to use Cortana? No. Is this the right keyboard layout? No, I told you it's where United Kingdom. There we go. Scottish Gaelic. I like it. Listening. Stop listening. Want to add a second keyboard layout? I'm not entirely sure why I'd want to do that. Oh yeah, I suppose perhaps a German one so I can get the skip. Perfect. Just a moment. I think they are. Let's connect you to a network. Skip for now because we haven't installed the driver yet that'll recognize my thing here. Connect now to save time later. No, because you haven't got the driver yet so that you can connect to a network. Twitch. Really? One of the covers, like one of your book covers, and they closed your Facebook account down? No way, really? Please post it here. I'd love to, or post it in the lookbook channel on our Discord. I'd love to see that cover, the cover that makes you get banned from Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. That's so weird. I know this double standard is absolutely weird, isn't it? Yeah, today, tomorrow, it all blends in. So Steve, you weren't far off from how many times does Windows have to start. So this is now the third time. I think we've got 7 more to go. It's gonna be a long night, alright. Yeah, that's green again. At least this time, devoid of any messages like, just a moment. Oh, did I tell you when I switched on my computer earlier? It was coming up with that. That's probably what it is, yes. It came up with that blue screen of death again. So it kind of does that now every other time I start my computer. It's just blue screen of death is just my friend now. Just a moment. Yeah, because the other thing, of course, is that once we're done with all this, we need to make sure we're using this. So those are all the Bootcamp drivers, which hopefully are going to work and make all this hardware play nice with Windows 10. Yeah, me too. It's going to be great, Julia. That one of 300 updates. It's going to be great. Let's connect you to a network. No, as I said a minute ago, skip for now. If you're listening, Cortana, skip for now. That way you can, just so you know, connecting to a network now could save you. No, thank you. As much as I would, who's going to use this PC? Me? That's not a good username, is it? Let's go, let's type this. Those Lewis, perfect. Create a super memorable password. How about password? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Let's type this one. Is that cool? Make sure to pick something you will absolutely remember. Okay. Confirm your password. And one more time to make sure we've got it right. Create security questions for this account. Well, I think it's going to be all right. Security question 1 of 3, your answer. Okay, so just give my answer, or shall we have a question as well? Ah, What's your first pet's name? Never had a pet. What's the name of the city that you were born in? Oh, okay, let's try that. Do you think I should try? Yeah, but I mean, who's gonna access this computer? So I was born in Bremen. So I'm gonna call, what's your first pet's name? That's gonna be Steve. And security question 3 of 3. What was your childhood nickname? What's the name of the first school you attended? First name of your oldest cousin. Okay, cool. That's Christina. Perfect. Make Cortana your personal assistant. Hey, look, that's me, Cortana. Can I have permission to use the info I need to do my best work? Decline. Do more across devices with activity history. Yeah, go on. Just a moment. Do more with your voice. Don't use online speech recognition. Yeah, I think that's the right setting, isn't it? Let Microsoft and apps use your location. No. Find my device. No. It's all good stuff if this was an actual installation of a real computer. Only send info about your device, its settings. How about don't send any stuff? That option doesn't, interestingly, absent here. Send all basic diagnostic data. Send only info about your device, its settings. Or how about send no data whatsoever? Yeah, exactly. That's the button that's totally missing. Improve inking and typing. No. Get tailored experiences with diagnostic data. No. This is, I've set Windows up before. Have you ever had this dialogue? Let apps use advertising ID. No. Just a moment. Ah, sorry, installation failed. You said no one too many times. Almost done now. We just need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours. Looking forward to helping you. Hi. Nice to meet you. We're getting everything ready for you. Yeah, we had hoped that was going to happen about an hour ago. Oh dear. I'm so glad we can share this. This might take several minutes. Awesome stuff. Yes. I can see a whole new channel concept there, the Windows channel. Whenever Windows needs to update. This might take several hours. Ah, yes. I think this is a good thumbnail for this video. Oh, Julia's just made me aware that I'm not allowed to eat after midnight because of that CT scan tomorrow. So I have another 11 minutes to eat something. But it's okay, actually. I'm not hungry. I'm going to finish my coffee, though. That's nice. That's kind of classed as clear liquid, isn't it? Probably not with the amount of half and half I put in it. So, how about it's time for another giveaway? What are we giving away? Another Windows moment.
A Windows phrase.
Okay, what we're giving away is, yes, a Windows phrase. That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's do this thing. All right, here we go.
That'll be Christina.
I can't believe it. Yeah, Julia had an interesting theory about that. She was saying, no, I don't think I do. But I think it depends on the definition. It says don't eat or drink anything. Um, that's a good, yeah, exactly. It'll be whoever's on YouTube. That's a good point, yeah. But then if there's several people on YouTube, it'll be just one of them. Maybe that's why Restream Bot wins so often. That's true, that's true. Yeah, maybe the more that happens, it means the bigger the chances that you win. So I think this is all super, yeah, congratulations, Christina. So I think this is already super promising here. I've got 1 hour, 18 minutes left on the what Windows thinks is the battery life. But of course we haven't got any, we can probably click. Yeah, so that's all supported. That's all awesome here. But we haven't got anything like the Wi-Fi drivers, or basically nothing is now working. Display drivers, none of that is working. Can I do, yes, right click isn't even working because that trackpad isn't supported. So let's see what happens if we whack in my special magic little thingamajig here called the SanDisk. So inserting that here into the USB port, and with a bit of luck Windows is going to recognize. Do you know, out of the box, absolutely. Well, at least my thing is recognized here. Yeah, let's just for a laugh, can we get display brightness going? No. Volume? No. There's a basic audio driver is installed. That's cool, but none of the special keys are working here. The keyboard backlight is also not working. CentOS had that all down. There was no problem for CentOS at all. Windows goes, nah, dude, need a driver for that. See if we can read a memory stick without any hiccups here. So this is Bootcamp here. That's the folder I made earlier. And there's one file here that's just called setup. It's a shame you can't quite see that, but I'm going to go and double click that. See what happens. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Verified publisher, Apple Incorporated. Yeah, sure, let's do that. This version of Bootcamp is not intended for this computer model. That's a shame, isn't it? That is a shame. So what shall we do now? Get an older version of Windows? Or of Bootcamp? That's crazy. The latest version of Bootcamp isn't working with my... I don't even want Bootcamp on here, really, if I'm absolutely super honest. Maybe I'm just going to delve down. There's another folder in here. It's just called drivers. And I have some subfolders here. Apple, ASICS, ATI, Broadcom, Cirrus, Intel, and Microsoft. So I guess Broadcom, that is probably the one. Oh, that's the card reader. It says Broadcom card reader, Broadcom controller, Broadcom Ethernet, and wireless Windows 7 and 8. Oh, I wonder if this version of Bootcamp is basically too old, if it doesn't have Windows 10 drivers. Maybe I'll go and just double click on the Broadcom wireless Windows 8 64-bit driver. So that's just a zip file, I guess. See what happens when we execute that. Ah, see? No problem at all. Welcome to the device driver installation wizard. Awesome, let's try that. I accept whichever agreement I'm agreeing to. That's cool. Shane, it's so super burnt out here. I'd love for you to see what this... It's just a few things that go and... It says completing the driver installation wizard. The drivers were successfully installed on your computer. And it's some kind of Broadcom device. I'm hoping this will give me wireless internet now. But maybe it doesn't. Or maybe Windows needs to be restarted. Not connected. Yes, that's probably because you don't know that there's a Wi-Fi thing in town. So there's also Windows 7 driver. And there's Broadcom controller 64. Maybe we'll install that as well. I suppose this one setup button would hopefully just install everything. And I guess maybe we can't have that because, you know, it's Apple and I should go buy a new MacBook really rather than install a piece of software that's, you know, not on. And I wonder if we can find anything on the World Wide Web here about, whoops, that's not what we want to see. So this is the one that I downloaded, 5.15769. But there were, of course, others. There were older ones. XP drivers. 5.1.5722. That's slightly older. Be interested to know when these came out. That'd be kind of nice to know. Oh, there we go. August 2015. And it does not say anything about Windows 10. How about the one that I downloaded then? Did that say anything about... No, that also didn't say anything about Windows 10. Ah. Interesting. Well, then of course I'm interested to see Bootcamp drivers for my particular MacBook. Download Bootcamp drivers for Windows 10. If some Mac features don't work when running Windows in Bootcamp. Download Bootcamp drivers without Bootcamp Assistant Guide. Interesting. That's probably what we should be doing. Yeah, because Bootcamp Assistant is a Mac application that'll do that when you're inside Mac OS. But that's not what we want. How to download Bootcamp drivers without Bootcamp Assistant Guide for step-by-step directions. Thank you, intowindows.com. Brigadier, yes, I've heard of that. That is a guy on GitHub who's made that software available for free, and you can download the correct version for your MacBook. Brigadier page, okay. There we go. That is an idea. So, but that also means I have to download this, put it on that memory stick, and then put it back in here. And since my computer, as it is now, doesn't really allow me to put the memory stick in the computer that I'm streaming from, I'm gonna have to go and take that memory stick out of here, do this with my Mac, and then put that thing back in here. This is gonna be exciting. Since I don't have a right click here on my trackpad, I'm gonna have to go and get rid of that drive somehow else, like this. Yeah, eject the stick. Okay, let's. Is there any room here? Let's do that. Perfect. Brigadier. Right. Brigadier on, whoops, that was the wrong keyboard, wasn't it? Yes, Brigadier on GitHub. Tim Sutton, awesome. Let's have a look at the releases page. And there it is. So we're going to just go and download that directly to here. then we'll go and eject that. Put that back into here. So this is almost like as we've just downloaded it directly on that laptop. And now let's see what we can do with Brigadier. So apparently it's just one exe file that I can download. I think I'm going to go and there it is, Brigadier. I think I'm going to go and just drag that perhaps to the desktop, so that just in the off chance that this is going to install itself on the memory stick, I think I'd like to avoid that. So I'm going to go double click that and see what happens. I see nothing. Oh yes, because I probably have to run it from the command line, don't I? Anyone here has any experience with Brigadier? Whoa, the command line. And now it's also dir, it's not ls like it is on Linux, it's dir. So, but it's still cd for change directory, that's cool. Let's go to the desktop and try Brigadier. Perhaps say help. It'll help us out. Righty. System model identifier to use. Otherwise, this machine's model is used. Oh, that's perfect. So how do I use this thing then? How do I use this thing? Sure, it says that on the front page. Usage, right there. Run Brigadier with no options to download and unpack the ESD that applies to this model to the current working directory. On OS X, the ESD is kept in a DMG format for easy burning to disk. On Windows, the driver files are extracted. Perfect. So that's really it, isn't it? Just go and say Brigadier. Is that right? Brigadier? Huh. Using Mac model MacBook Pro 8,1, and it isn't working, of course, because it's not connected to the internet. Of course. That makes sense, doesn't it? Oh. Yes. That is a little bit of a tricky one. So I think I'm going to have to go think about this. And we need to pick up Julia's bike. So I think, my friends, this would be a perfect opportunity for us to close the book on this for now. And join me next time for another amazing episode of Live from Jay's Desk. It was close, and I think we're almost there. I think this Brigadier thing is going to be the key to success. If I were to just put a wired internet connection in here, I may actually have luck with that. So I might do that perhaps tomorrow, perhaps another day. Join me for that again if you wish. It was nice that you hung out with me twice today. That is very awesome. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Christina, do catch some sleep. Steve, have a great haircut. And DreamLab, enjoy that Instacart delivery tomorrow. Take care, my friends. Bye bye.